Yeah, hard-fought game, a hard-fought game. We talked to our team about this on Thursday and Friday. I actually showed them a video of the Arturo Gotti, Mickey Ward fight, that 9th round, to kind of show them exactly what I thought this game would end up being. And sure enough, it ended up being one of those 4-quarter games right there to the end. Give a lot of credit to West Virginia for the job that they did and the way they competed. Really proud of our team. They faced adversity throughout the game where we got down. Things happened and gave up some big plays on special teams. But the thing that really jumped out to me, I think, which was created by how we work and the things we've done in the offseason, is our guys kind of bonded together and they kept fighting. And to me, that's the important thing. The discipline issue with the penalties, we had some inopportune penalties that, we're going to keep coaching them through it. We gave up 4 points when we had a stop there in the red zone on 3rd down. We jump off sides. Those are all correctable. Unfortunately for us, we're able to correct it with a win. And so, again, I got to give the kids credit in that locker room. They hung in there. They believed. They wanted it more, and really proud of the job they did today. We'll celebrate it for 24 hours, get back in here tomorrow as a coaching staff, and then Monday set our preparation on making some of the corrections from this game and getting ready for Howard. With that, I'll open it up to any questions.
Coach, on 3rd down offensively in the second half, I think you guys moved the chains 5 of the last 6 times before taking that kneel down. What was the difference in that 4th quarter for you guys offensively?
Well, I think we committed to running the football. We got into some good advantageous 3rd down situations where 1st and 2nd down we were able to get it to 3rd and 2 to 3, 3rd and 4, which to me, being able to run the ball in 3rd and short and 3rd and 4 really, really helps your offense. I thought that we did a really good job after going, I think, 3 of 10 there in the first half or in the first 3 quarters. But we got those first downs when we needed it. It was great to see the offense finish on the field the way they did, controlling the line of scrimmage.
Coach, you talked about the offensive line and sort of seeing what you had. What's your instant take after the game on how your guys did up front?
Yeah, it's always hard to judge it immediately after the game, but the one thing that really stood out is, as we said going into this game, we feel really good about, 7 to 8 of those guys that really have shown that they can play winning football for us. We're still young up there, and that's the one position group it takes a little longer to develop. And we were fortunately, again, able to get out of the game without any major injuries on the offensive line, which to me is the one area where we have depth issues. And so it was great to see those guys be able to run the ball when we needed to run the ball. And I think it will give them confidence as we move forward and we keep trying to establish an identity as being a team that can do both really well.
When you look at this game as a barometer, like you said, what was kind of your reading of just how they handled that 4th quarter with Jacorian interception going into Talia's touchdown drive?
Yeah, as I said earlier, really proud of them. The 2 things we said going into was, will we be a team that play with discipline? And then secondly, how would we manage and handle adversity, which we haven't done really well the first couple of years with me here. So I was really proud of the way they faced and handled the adversity of the ebb and flow of a hard-fought game. West Virginia, those guys continued to battle as well. So, again, I give them a lot of credit. But what I was really most proud of was the playmakers in our offense and defense made the plays that were there when they needed to be made. And, that's one area that we haven't necessarily done that during my short time back here as the head coach.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on a big win right here. And the defense in the second half held a great West Virginia offense to only 3 points, and that was almost like a hurry-up situation. What were the adjustments at halftime? What went wrong with the first, and what did you adjust for the second?
Well, I think as with anything, that first game, you go in and you don't really know how they're going to attack you. And they had a lot of answers for us wanting to play man coverage. They hit the tunnel screen early in the game. They did some things with the back where they had some matchups where number 4, who we knew was a big-time player, they got some matchup issues or had some matchup situations where they had an advantage. And I thought Brian did a great job there making sure that 4 didn't beat us. He made some plays early, made some plays in the first half, but, we talked about, hey, we're not going to let their best player beat us, so let's figure out that. And we made some adjustments with mixing zone coverage in with some of the man stuff. We started doing a little more five-man pressures to try to get the quarterback uncomfortable. So, again, our defense did a really good job after, settling down once we had a pretty good understanding or beat on what they wanted to do to attack us. And at halftime, made some good adjustments.
Coach, I know it's easier when you're the home team, but was there any adjustment period in terms of getting used to having fans back in there in terms of communication or really anything else?
Well, luckily for us, man, we try to dot the I's and cross the T's. And, our Thursdays, we practice indoors and we put crowd noise in. And we played with crowd. We had crowd noise in on Thursday, and it drives us crazy as a coach to have to deal with it because you can't necessarily coach your guys. But anticipating that we would have a good crowd, our fans really showed up, and our student section, I can't tell them just how much our players appreciate having them there for 4 quarters and them being playing a major role in the fourth quarter when we needed it to be loud and we needed the energy. We fed off of them. So hopefully we can create a trend of continuing to have our fans show up. West Virginia, they always travel well, and so it was a great atmosphere back at the Shell, and being able to go out and get a win here at home.
Hey, Coach. Just what is your assessment of Talia's performances? First sort of big game atmosphere like this, and obviously had a few big plays there with Dante and Rakim. So how do you assess him?
Yeah, I thought Talia played well. I mean, obviously when we win, it's easier to coach those guys, and there's some things that jump out. Taking a sack there right before the half where we had to kick a 51-yard field goal, and if he just throws the ball away, we may end up getting some points. So I thought he was a little antsy early. He was kind of looking at the rush, but really, really settled down. And one of the things I think helps him is knowing that we've got those playmakers out on the perimeter, tight ends and receivers and our running backs, that all he has to do is do what he's coached to do. And, we saw him execute the offense to a T there in the, late in the third quarter, the big pass to Rakim to kind of break the game open. We had the couple of opportunities to take the momentum, and our special teams let us down with the big returns, which then flipped the momentum. So great game for us for a first game to really see who we are and create an identity as a team that's going to fight for 4 quarters and, not let adversity get us down. So proud of Leah and the way he fought as well.
Hey, Mike, you probably don't want to make too big of a deal of this win, but from like a program building perspective, with being kind of a swing game right out of the gate against a really good border rival, do you feel like it's a step forward in terms of that program maturity that you keep talking about?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought going into this game, our kids really, as I said before, we had a competitive camp. I was really happy with the way they fought through, this summer during training camp. We faced some hot days, and these guys fought through it. We got through healthy. Our strength and conditioning staff did a really good job this summer with our conditioning levels, which I was really happy to see because it seemed like we got stronger as the game went on. So, there's no doubt in my mind that, excited for what we've done in one game, but still a lot of corrections that got to be made, and I'm looking forward to making them.
Hi.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi. Sorry. For Tarheeb Still, Nick Cross were 2 guys who had a lot of expectations coming into this season, and they definitely delivered today. For you as a coach, how is it to have kind of that consistency from last season and that veteran leadership there on the defensive end?
Yeah, both those guys are as advertised. We keep seeing Nick get better and better with each game, and as I said, Tarheeb got off the yellow bus last year and started 12 games or 5 games a season for us. And then he shows back up this week and he plays, nickel, he plays corner. If you watch the way that kid plays, he's having a blast out there. And I really like that. I think to me, that's an identity that I want our players to have, is that when they go out there and they're playing, that they're enjoying it, having fun, playing a great game of football. And both those guys are great examples of recruiting and developing your players, and I'm really happy with their performance today.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
A couple questions about a couple individual players. The performance of Rakim Jarrett and Tayon Fleet Davis in particular,
Yeah.
and then More of a throw in, another one here. 4 takeaways by your defense after you comment about the.
Yeah, well, let me say this now because I know it's a big deal for Rakim. I mean, he is Rakim, and every time I tease him and call him Rakim, and he gets mad at me, but he's Rakim for now on.
Good, thank you.
But Tayon and Rock, Tayon has benefited from COVID. It's a super senior for us. I mean, a guy that, we brought back for an extra year, and much like I think what we saw out of Jake Funk last year, I'm hoping that he does and takes that next level. And I've seen it with the maturity. I've seen it with his leadership. He's one of those guys that our players feed off of his emotion, and it was great to see him hit that big run there at the end. I'm glad he ran out of gas because he needed to go down a little earlier instead of, trying to score a touchdown. But, I'm really happy with the way Fleets performed. And then you said, who else? Rakim. Yeah, with Rakim, I mean, the guy is, again, like I said, as advertised, highly and heavily recruited, a guy that we count on as one of our better playmakers, a guy that we've got to continue to find ways to diversify, to get him the ball. He'll continue to get better for us with each game. We only played 5 last year, and the thing that kind of shows up is he's much better. He got better as the season went on last year, and he started out fast today, and I think you'll see him continue to improve as we improve.
And then your defense, 4 takeaways.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things going into last season, at the end of it, we always study things, and we were a defense that did not have many takeaways last year. If you look at our turnover ratio, and it was great to be able to get 4 turnovers today. I think we got 1 on special teams. Anytime you can take the ball over, the 2 trends that we've seen in college football, or if not just football in itself, is big plays and turnovers. Those are the 2 keys, and we had some explosive plays on offense, and then we got some turnovers, and that really helps us.
Coach, just a quick question about the building off Tayon Fleet Davis, or the overall depth in the running back room, and what was your assessment of it?
Yeah, I was happy, like I said, that, after the first half, I felt like we needed to check their oil in the run game and really try to establish an identity that they were trying to defend the pass, and they had some open spaces, and I felt we needed to run the ball, and we made that an emphasis, and I think in the third quarter, we were out of sorts there the first couple of drives trying to run the ball. We're one of those offense that probably plays better when we're throwing it out on the perimeter and then running off of those. But what I saw was that we kept pounding at it, and that's kind of what a good run game does. You may have a 1, 2, 3 yard gain, and then all of a sudden that thing pops, and I think that's what we saw. And the depth that we've been able to create with Fleet, the 2 young guys, Isaiah, Jacobs, Penny Boone didn't play a lot today. He was, missed quite a bit of time there at the end of camp, and we expect him to be available and ready to go. He was available today, but really happy with the depth that we've been able to create at running back.
Hey, Coach. I know Brandon Jennings was a guy that you had mentioned in the past just because he hit an early enroll lead, but he was a guy that got a chance to play a lot today, and I think in that late third quarter, he forced that fumble. So for him to kind of take that stride in his first game, what does that kind of mean for you and then that linebacker room?
Yeah, with the injury there to Fanaje early in the game, linebacker for us is one of the thin areas that we are, and the young guy was thrown into the fire per se, and he's really done a great job. We were fortunate that he was a guy that was a mid-year grad, so he got a spring under his belt. He's a guy that plays really heavy-handed, really physical at the point of attack. So what you saw today, I think you'll just continue to see him get better and better.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
2 guys that didn't play or coach today but were there, Tua and Stefan. What does it mean to you, the team, the game, the program, to have 2 guys like that on the sideline?
Yeah, we're a football family, and, Steph, he called me about a week ago and told me, said, hey, I'm going to be in town. He actually spoke to the team last night at the hotel and then showed up for the game. And, Tua, the relationship there we have, obviously his brother's here on the team, and we knew that he would be here, but we also had a ton of other guys, Torrey Smith and Sean Merriman, Ricardo Dickerson, Ricardo Young. I mean, to me, that's what this program's got to be all about is, now that we've stabilized it, we got to get some of those old Terps back, man, in the fold, supporting the program. And, it's great to see that. It really shows that the relationships are not just 4 year, but 40 years, and they really support their Terps.
Hi, Coach. I know you talked a little bit about Rakim's overall performance, but specifically after struggling with that kickoff a little early on, to come back, get that 60-yard touchdown. Can you talk a little bit about his mental ability, the player that you know him to be? You said he's as advertised, just the ability to come back from that.
Yeah, good players aren't afraid to make mistakes, and Rock is one of those guys. The kickoff, we had a little bit more of a win than we anticipated. We should have moved him up 5 yards, so he worked to try to get there. Those things happen. Those are the things that first game, us as a staff making those type of corrections and adjusting. But you can't be afraid to make mistakes. You can't be afraid to fail. He's a talented player. I'm sure he'll make a few more mistakes, but I think you also saw he has the ability to make a lot of plays for us. And, we'll live with those growing pains, and we'll continue to see him get better with each and every game. I mean, he's 6 games into a career, so really excited for his future.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Florian Bennett.